Class, am I audible? मलाई सुनिरहेछौ? Good morning. मलाई सुनिरहेछौ? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, can you see the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, let us begin. I think we were halfway through Unit 1, no? Unit 1 को कति 1.34 मा पुगेको थियो? Yes? Okay. From the beginning, I have something to tell you. This week, I'll be completing Unit 1 and then you will be getting assignments. Alright. So, get the books. If you don't still don't have the books, you have to get the screenshots from your friend or pictures of the exercises from your friends and do the exercises. Today I'll start from the very beginning. I'll just give you a quick revision of the previous exercises. By that time you will get used to what we are doing, and then we'll continue with the other exercises. Okay, so now what you have is your experiences and achievements. Whenever we talk about experiences and achievements, what we learned in the previous class was that we use the present perfect to talk about our experiences without details, isn't it? Without details. And then when we give details, we use the past tense. This is what we learned, isn't it? Then in 1.2, you had some exercises where you had to list or invent a list of experiences and achievements for different people, for 5 different people, one actress, one prisoner, one company, and one person from the army, and one anthropologist. 5 different situations were given where these people were supposed to, what they were supposed to um, write about these people's experiences and achievements in the present perfect and past tense, right? So we have discussed this. From among this, 2 paragraphs you are supposed to write, and this is the practical application of what you have learned here. Basically, when you talk about your experiences and achievements, you use the present perfect and you use the past tense when you give details, right? So now what is next? What we did was, have you ever? So from here I'll go little slow so that this one can be discussed with you once again, so it is clear for you. And moreover, 1.3 is very important. Here again we use the present perfect tense for asking and talking in general about experiences. Okay, the past tense is used for giving details of an experience. Have you ever eaten Japanese food? Whenever you talk in general about any experience, you use simple present perfect tense. Have you ever eaten Japanese food? Then second one, if something happens to you as person, you use this structure. Have you ever been shouted at? Shouted V3. Okay, have you ever been? Been is something that happens to you. Then third one, your possession. Have you ever had your bike stolen? Have you ever had your something done? Okay, this is how. Have you ever had your copies checked? So have you ever had your nails trimmed? So similarly, the exercises we had were like this. They fined me for a parking offense last week. Suppose this is the conversation. You frame a question. Have you ever been fined for a parking offense? No, I haven't. Last week I was fined for over speeding. Then they printed my picture in the newspaper. My picture means your possession. So third structure, okay? So have you ever had your picture, verb is printed in the newspaper? So yes, I have. After my SE results, my picture was printed among the top scorers. Then we ate Japanese food last week. This is a general one. Have you ever, V3, have you ever eaten Japanese food? Yes, I have. A friend took me to a Japanese restaurant for his birthday last year. I didn't like it. Okay, now somebody punched me on the nose this morning. Me. It happens to you. If me is there, been will be there. So you start with have you ever been Punched on the nose. So no, I haven't. Well, this morning as I was practicing boxing with my brother, I got punched on the eye. Okay. Then the custom men searched my luggage last time I came back from abroad. This I had asked you to do yourself. So no, I haven't. Well, last year the security men searched my school bag at college. Then someone broke into my house 2 weeks ago. So have you ever had your house broken into? Then no, I haven't. Someone tried to enter my house through the window. Luckily, we caught him. Okay, same way, similar exercise you have in 1.2 asking about experiences. Here again, you have conversations where prompts are given. The prompts are given steel wallet. Steel wallet is there, isn't it? So wallet, your possession, isn't it? So, have you ever had your wallet stolen? Have you ever had your wallet stolen? So, no, I haven't. Then in the bracket, umbrella is there. So, you have to write your experience with umbrella. But I have had my umbrella stolen. I lost it this morning in class. Then throw out of class library. Have you ever been thrown out of class? No, I haven't. But I have been thrown out of the library. The librarian caught me talking to my friend. Simply, if you go on following what is there in the example, you will be able to do the exercises. Now that I have repeated these, they should be very familiar to you, as well as it should be easy for you to do these exercises on your own. However, only for the first few units I'm doing it this way. Later you'll have to do it yourself. Just because you are new to this pattern and you are new to my way of instruction as well, that's the reason I'm just doing this way. Okay, workbook, same thing, we are continuing. Trap in a lift toilet. So trap, you as a person, you get trapped. So, all right, so you start your question with have you ever. You is there, so being trapped in a lift. No, I haven't, but I have been trapped in a toilet. Someone locked the door from outside. Then x-ray, chest, teeth, your, so possession. Have you ever had your chest x-rayed? No, I haven't, but I have had my teeth x-rayed. Last year I met with an accident and I had to get my teeth x-rayed. Okay, now mistake rock star, TV actor, actress. Have you ever been mistaken for a rock star? No, I haven't, but I have been mistaken for a TV actor, actress. I was walking down the street when someone asked for an autograph. Then leisure activities. Okay, now whenever we talk about any leisure activity, we ask about different experiences relating to leisure activity. We use the present perfect. Okay, leisure activities are activities that we do when we are free, okay, in our leisure time. So see, how do we frame the question? What is the highest or most dangerous mountain you have ever climbed? See, you see that have you ever, here come that you have ever. And the question begins with WH. WH, why what? Why don't we use which? We don't we use which because which is used when we have an option. Like suppose you give in your answer, you have Mount Everest, Mount Kanchenjunga, Mount Api. If option is there, we use which. If we don't give any option, if it is open-ended, we use what. Okay. So what is the most difficult subject you have ever studied? Why what? Suppose we had given you the option physics, chemistry, maths, we would say which. But we are open. So what is the most difficult subject you have ever studied? So you see, though we have been using such kind of questions, we have been asking such kind of questions. However, we might not have noticed that these are actually are used in the present perfect tense. Okay, describing outstanding experiences with superlative adjectives. Okay, so whenever we describe our outstanding experiences, also we use the present perfect. The highest mountain I've ever climbed is the Annapurna. The most difficult subject I've ever studied is physics. This is how we discuss Now, if you have the book with you in 1.4, you see leisure activities. You can see two pictures. One is of a mountain climber, another is about a sailor. About a mountain climber, you are supposed to ask questions using the present perfect tense about his leisure activities, about his experiences of mountain climbing. What questions could you ask a mountain climber about his or her experiences? So, a lot. In the bracket, you have a lot. If a lot is given, how will you write? Have you climbed a lot of mountains? Alright, how many? How many mountains have you climbed? Okay, Alps. Yes, anyone? Do you want to say anything? Okay. How many mountains have you climbed? See, when WH is not there, have you use, isn't it? But if there is WH, you start with WH and then you have will come later. Okay. Have you climbed in the Alps? Alps is mountain range just like the Himalayas. Okay. Highest mountain. So it starts with WH. What is the highest mountain you have ever climbed? Longest time. See, what is the longest time you have ever spent V3 on a mountain? You know, on a mountain. You have to be sure that you write on. Many times my students go on writing in a mountain. That will be wrong. Why? Because you are not a mouse that will go drilling a hole in a mountain and then stay there. You obviously are on a mountain. So you have to be careful with the little prepositions also here. Okay. What is the most dangerous situation you have ever been in? Situation, you are in a situation. So, what is the most dangerous situation you have ever been in? Okay. So, if in the bracket rescued is given, then there are two ways. Either you have to be rescued or you rescue someone. Okay. So, two questions. Have you ever had to be rescued or have you ever rescued anyone? Okay. Have you rescued anyone or have you, mm, what will it be? Have you ever had to be rescued or have you ever rescued anyone? So this is how you ask. Okay. Now, the present perfect tense is used for experiences and leisure activities. We continue with this. Another activity is we have, what do we have is sailor, okay, yachtsman. So what questions could we ask a yachtsman? What question would you ask a yachtsman about his experiences using the prompts given? So a lot. How will you ask question using a lot? You will use, have you done a lot of sailing? Okay. Open sea. Have you ever sailed on the open sea? Okay. Have you ever sailed on the open sea? Then single-handed. Have you ever sailed single-handed? Have you ever sailed single-handed means alone. See, farthest. What is the farthest you have ever sailed in a yacht? Longest time. What is the longest time you have spent on a yacht? Okay. Then biggest on a yacht. Okay. Biggest. What is the biggest yacht you have ever sailed in? Capsized. Capsize means to turn upside down. So have you ever capsized? So this is how you use different kinds of questions when you ask people about their leisure activities. Now we come to the similar exercise from workbook unit 1.3 using superlatives. In the workbook, when you have this example, the meanest person I have ever met was Jack Davis. Here mean means conjuice, okay? He used to walk everywhere rather than pay for the bus, okay? The meanest person I have ever met was Jack Davis. He used to walk everywhere rather than pay for the bus. So the first sentence given is in the present perfect and the second sentence is in the past tense where we give details about the person. Okay, similarly to more I have done it for you. Number 4, uncomfortable bed. So for longer words we use more, most, isn't it? Shorter words have they have er and est. The most uncomfortable bed I have ever slept was at the hospital. It was so uncomfortable that I could not sleep the whole night. Funny film. The funniest film I've ever watched was Dhamal. It was so funny that I laughed throughout the film. Now try doing with this. I'll give you 2 minutes time. Write a similar sentence for this. Okay, and then I'll come back and then ask you. You write down. I may ask anyone. Okay, please write down this one. Try doing the same similar exercise. Try writing, and then I'll ask you. Frightening experience. Write about any of your frightening experience. Any frightening experience that you have had. I was so frightened. So, the most frightening experience I have ever had was, what will you write? The most frightening experience I have ever had was what? The earthquake of 2017 or an accident that you have had. Then you can write, I was so frightened that I fainted, that I had fever or something like that. Okay, stupid mistake. The stupidest mistake that I ever made was write about that thing and explain it. Yes, Ayusha, read out the number 3, stupid mistake, what you have written. Ayusha Subedi. Yes, or else anyone can just say stupid mistake. Let me know the sentence what you have written. The stupidest mistake that I ever made was, yes? You must have made many mistakes, right? Then you explain that in the past tense. Okay, I'll ask you in the end, right? If you don't answer now, I'll see. Fine. Then the most boring job I've ever done was write about the job. And then another sentence, I would try my best, however, working as a salesman, you can say. Then you can say that however hard I would try, no one would what? Buy anything from me. This is how you are going to write. Now we come to 1.5. 1.5 has familiar and unfamiliar experiences. Okay. 1.5 familiar and unfamiliar experiences. Be used to followed by active gerund, be used to followed by passive gerund, and be used to followed by passive form of have something done. So what do you have here is used to. You have been learning about used to in class 11 unit 10 also, and in your our English book also you learned in class 8 used to, but there you use used to for habitual past action and past states, like I used to be very naughty, I used to play the whole day, there used to be a big garden in front of my house, something like that. Used to, where you use it for habitual past action and for past states. However, this used to is little different because this used to has used to followed by ing, used to followed by ing, gerund. What is gerund? Can anyone tell me what is gerund? Do you know what is gerund or not? Yes? Voluntarily, anyone can say. What is gerund?
Before.
ing form.
ing form. Verb noun is called gerund, isn't it? Like walking is a good exercise. So here walking works as a noun, as a verb as well. So these kind of words are called gerund. Okay. So be used to followed by active gerund and passive gerund. The third one, passive form of have something done. Pay attention, okay? This one, the presentation part, I have not typed it for you only because I typed it for the previous exercise. You might expect that. However, I'll not be doing that. Now you have to procure the books. Even if you don't have the books, you have to enhance your listening skills, because listening along with speaking, reading and writing are equally important. It's very important, especially later for your other examinations. They will be very, very important for you. So these online classes are a kind of boon for you, because you have to enhance your listening skills. Now 1.5 in your page 4, exercise 1.5, familiar and unfamiliar experiences. I'll just discuss what is there. Okay, this is about two boys named Don and Ricky. They were just simple singers who were not famous, but overnight they became successful. So how their life used to be till yesterday, familiar. How their life has changed from tomorrow, what changes will come, that is unfamiliar. So used to doing something, not used to doing something. Okay, this is how we will decide, and how we use these three as we go on, I'll explain to you. Okay, now let us see what Don says. Well, there are a lot of things that we will need to get used to professionally. We have always sung very informally. See the first sentence? They sing very informally. So they are used to singing very informally. So active gerund. They are used to verb plus ing. They are used to singing very informally. Sorry. Of course, we have been invited to sing at social functions. Other people invite them to social functions, right? So passive. They are used to being invited to local functions. Now, then, but we have often had things written about us in the local press. So they are used to having things written about them. They are used to having things written about them. These are the three ways in which we express. Let us see some other sentences are also there. We have always sung for fun. So they are used to singing for fun. We have never used any expensive equipment. They are not used to using any expensive equipment. Now suddenly it's all different. We sing in a studio. They are not used to singing in a studio. We are told what to do by a producer. They are not used to being told what to do by a producer. We have everything recorded onto tape. They are not used to having everything recorded onto tape. Okay, I think it spoils it in some ways, but I suppose it is all part of being successful. This is what Don had to say. Now what Ricky says. From here also we can identify the sentences, how we can write be used to with active gerund, with passive gerund, and with passive form of have something done. Yes, I think the biggest difference is going to be the publicity. We have always lived a very quiet life, okay? And we don't usually go out much except to sing on Saturday night. So they are used to living a very quiet life. We are not used to going out much. We are already recognized in the street. They are not used to being recognized, okay? Then sometimes people stare at us. They are not used to being stared at. They are not used to being stared at. All right? Then they come and ask us for our autograph. They are not used to being asked for autograph. We keep having our photograph taken. They are not used to having their photograph taken. So this is how we talk about things that are familiar and things that are unfamiliar. All right. So now some sentences I've just written for you so that you can relate how we use these things. Since class nursery to class 11, we have been going to school, to college to get education, right? So we are used to going to school. We are used to going to college. We are used to being taught in classroom. We are used to having our notebook checked. All right. Now negative. We are not used to having online classes. This is something new, isn't it? We are not used to being given online tests. We are not used to being given online assignments. Then we are not used to staying at home. So this is all we have. Now, we used to. Same thing. When we practice in the workbook, how do we do? This is how we get the questions, okay? Continue the remarks below with a sentence using not used to or used to plus ing, okay? The sentence given is, the traffic doesn't wake him up at night. The traffic doesn't wake him up at night, okay? So, yes, please unmute. Who is that? There's some disturbance, okay. Please mute yourself, sorry. The traffic doesn't wake him up at night. So, he is the subject. He is used to verb sleep, ing, sleeping in the street. So, he is the subject. He is the subject is used to sleeping in the street. Okay. He is used to sleeping in the street. Now, he is going to find it hard work walking on a building site. So, subject is he. He is not used to doing hard work. He is not used to doing hard work. Now, this is one exercise which you are supposed to do yourself. You are supposed to do this exercise yourself. Using be used to verb ing or not used to verb ing. She was quite surprised when I gave her some flowers. She was quite surprised when I gave her some flowers. So what will you write? She is not used to being given flowers. She is not used to being given flowers. He won't mind if you stare at him. So he is used to being stared at. He is used to being stared at. I get a bit lonely sometimes now that she is gone. So, I subject, am not used to living on my own. I am not used to being alone. Here you can use the active form, the passive form of have something done, whichever you can use. However, only be used to plus verb plus ing should be there, okay? It is quite hard work doing all my own washing and cleaning. So, I am not used to doing my own washing and cleaning. So, how will you use? Subject, I am not used to doing all my own washing and cleaning. Number 7. I don't think she has ever opened the door herself. So what will you write? She, subject, is not used to opening doors. She is not used to opening doors, or she is used to having her door opened by others. Okay. You can bring as many friends as you like home to dinner. You can bring as many friends as you like home to dinner. So, I am used to having many people for dinner, or you can say, I am used to entertaining many people. I am used to cooking for many people. However, you can express. There are a lot of varieties that you can use for the answer. I am not surprised he is out of breath. So, I am not surprised he is out of breath. So, he, subject, is not used to running. He is not used to doing hard work. Okay. Oh dear, I have got a stomach ache. So I, subject, am not used to eating oily, spicy food. I am not used to eating oily, spicy food. Okay. So this is what you will be using here. Now try writing these exercises and then I'll move on to the next structure. Okay. What do you have here? Used to, verb, ing. Okay, it can be active form, it can be passive form, it can be passive form of have something done with gerund. Okay, so this is how you will be doing this exercise. So used to, this structure you will be using in all the three exercises. In all the exercises, any one of the three structures you could be using. All right. So here, this exercise from the workbook is very, very important. People, you keep getting this in your examination. Now, one last structure for today. 1.6, we have new experiences. All right, we have new experiences. This thing actually we have in unit 1 we talk about experiences. So whenever we talk about any new experiences, there are different ways that you can express your experiences. The first one, I have never before. I have never tasted caviar before. I have never tasted caviar before. Okay, this is the first time I have ever tasted caviar. Same thing you can say. This is the first time I have ever bunked my classes. It is the first time I have ever been punished. Okay, so it is the first time I have ever tasted caviar. So this is how you can use a different variety of structures to talk about your new experiences. Okay, to talk about new experiences. Now let us see some exercises that are there in 1.6. Let us see how it is given in your text. You are supposed to use this. Okay. Some I've done for you, others I want you to do yourself. Continue the remarks in three different ways, mean three different structures that are given just now. Okay. My feet are killing me. Your literal meaning, okay? My feet are killing me. Actually, your feet don't kill you. Fine. It's just like it's raining cats and dogs. Actually, cats and dogs do not pour from the sky, isn't it? When it's raining heavily, we say it's raining cats and dogs, isn't it? Same way, my feet are killing me means, what does this mean? Your feet, they're hurting so much that it's difficult for you to live, isn't it? Very difficult. So, this is the first time I have walked such a long distance. I have never walked such a long distance before. I am not used to walking. Okay. God, this is embarrassing. This is the first time I have ever failed. You understand the meaning of embarrass, I believe. Lazam Mordono. I have never been punished before. I am not used to being scolded. Same way, two more exercises are there in the book. I can't get to sleep. You are not able to sleep. So, this is the first time I have ever slept in a tent. Okay. I have never flown at night before. Then I'm not used to having siestas, means short nap in the afternoon. Now you have upset him. So how will you express? It is the first time he has ever been spoken to like that. Nobody has ever said no to him before. He is not used to being ignored. So this is how you use these three structures to talk about new experience of people. Okay, some more questions are there. This you're supposed to do on your own somehow. Anyway, I'll just discuss with you orally so that you can take note of these things and try and write down on your own. Do you think you could slow down a little? Someone is riding very fast. So you can say, or you're going horse riding for the first time. All right. This is the first time I have ever gone horse riding. I have never done horse riding before. I'm not used to riding on a horse. She is feeling terribly nervous. Someone performing for the first time, someone going on stage for the first time. So, this is the first time she has ever been on stage. She has never performed on stage before. She is not used to performing on stage. Okay. Hold my hand, will you? Suppose you are watching a horror movie or you are crossing a very narrow bridge, you're scared, okay? So this is the first time I have ever watched a horror movie, or I have never crossed such a narrow bridge before. I am not used to walking in such difficult situations, such difficult roads. Then another positive one. He is absolutely delighted. Delighted, very happy. Why? So, this is the first time he has ever received any award. He has never won a lottery before. He is not used to being awarded. He is not used to being praised. Simple as that. I hope they get there all right. Subject is they, plural. So if it is plural, what will you write? Imagine some children going somewhere for the first time. Okay, I hope they get there all right. So what will you write? You can say this is the first time they have ever traveled on their own. They have never traveled on their own before. They are not used to traveling on their own. So different ways of expressing new experiences. Just remember these three structures, and then you will have to use these three structures for the situations given. All right, this is how you are supposed to do this exercise. Now we have some exercises from the workbook which are similar. Okay, how many times here in the workbook? Actually, they are similar to the previous exercise. However, whenever example is given, I have been telling you from before that examples are to be followed to the dot. Follow the example exactly. Only change the things where it is necessary. Whenever you are asked to rewrite the sentence, many times you are not supposed to change the tenses. You are not supposed to change the meaning. It is only that you are practicing different ways of expressing the same thing. One thing is said in many different ways. Okay, the same thing is said in different ways. Let us see the example given. I have only visited Britain once before. So this is second time. So this once before means, so this is twice. So second time. This is only my second visit to Britain. This is only the second time I have visited Britain. So same thing is said in a little different way. This is my first night in a five-star hotel. So how will you write? I have never slept in a five-star hotel, because first, so I have never before. So this is the first time I have ever slept in a five-star hotel. So this is how you express different ways of saying the same thing. Now some more exercises are given. Let us see how we can do this. This is his third stretch in prison. Stretch here means not stretching, third time. First stretch 5 months, second stretch 6 months, third stretch could be 1 year, whatever. This is how, so first, second, third stretch. Okay, third time it is then. So he has been you can say this is the third time he has been sent to prison. He has been to prison how many times before? If this is third, twice before, isn't it? So that is how you express. Okay, this is so three sentences done. This is the first time I have worked in a travel agent. So first time, so I have not worked in a travel agents before. All right, then what else? This is my first job in a travel agents. Okay, now I have flown in a Concorde 4 times before. So this is obviously fifth. This is my fifth flight in a Concorde. This is only the fourth time I am, or fifth time I am traveling by Concorde. This is only my third attack of flu. That means twice you have had before. So I have had flu twice before. This is only the third time I have had flu. So it is only different ways of expressing the same thing about your new experiences. You go on expressing here. So your takeaway for today will be this new experience I have never before. This is the first time I have ever, or it is the first time I have ever. Present perfect structure for talking about new experiences. All right. Then another is this one. Be used to followed by active gerund. Be used to followed by passive gerund, and the passive form of have something done. These two are the things that you learned today. Superlative. This was a further practice of what you learned in the previous exercise. When we talk about leisure activities, we use present perfect tense. So we use Have you ever, WH is there, then W starts with WH, and then you have ever, and then what else did I say? Where do we use which and when? We use which when options are given. We don't use which, we use what when it is open-ended, isn't it? So, we learned that we use the present perfect to ask about experiences relating to leisure activities. And then we practiced have you ever, this structure, which is very, very important. Okay, have you ever, three different structures that we had. So this is all we have in unit 1. Okay, so unit 1, what was it all about? Present perfect to talk about experiences without details, past tense with details. Okay, so passive gerund and passive form of have something done when we talk about familiar and unfamiliar experiences. Then same practice in the workbook. Then the new experiences. This is all we had. Now I'll just have a little bit of interaction with you all. Okay, I want to see who all are there and then, okay. Now, Kapil Khadka. Kapil Khadka.
Yes, ma'am.
Please, what are your leisure activities? Do you play cricket, football, anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, which activity? Football? Okay. Frame sentence. Ask question about your experience. The way we asked to mountain climber and that. Ask 2 questions.
Okay, ma'am.
You can just say without writing also, using present perfect.
How many football tournament have you ever played?
How many games have you played? Okay, how many? One more. One more.
Have you won any tournament ever?
Okay, okay, good. Okay. Ashka Prajapati.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Any activity that you do? Suppose singing. Okay, frame 2 questions. Frame 2 questions.
Have you done a lot of singing?
Very good. One more.
And have you ever performed on the stage?
Okay, good. Okay. Deepak Yadav, tell me something about familiar experiences. Deepak Yadav, tell me about any of your experience using the used to ing. Using used to and ing. Yes, Deepak Yadav?
I used to playing football.
I am used to. I am used to. Say.
I am used to playing football.
Very good. One negative. One negative.
I am not used to playing game.
I am not used to playing online games. Okay. So something like that. So is this much clear to you or not? Class? Is this much clear to you? Praveen Mahadev? Praveen? Praveen? Praveen Mahadev? Unmute yourself. Okay. Sujal Shrestha? Sujal Shrestha?
Yes, ma'am.
Ask one question using have you ever?
Have you ever played football?
Very good. Another using been.
What, ma'am?
Something that has happened to you. Using been. Have you ever been?
Have you ever been playing football?
No. Have you ever been
Have you ever
sent out
been
of the
to?
class? Something like that. Have you ever been? Been is when it happens to you. तिमीलाई हुन्छ नि, have you ever been punished जस्तो? Did you get? Have you
Oh,
ever? अब एउटा
okay,
बनाऊ
ma'am.
त, make one more. Been लाएर.
Have you ever been ignored?
Yes, very good. Now, have you ever with your possession had your लगाएर एउटा बनाऊ?
फेरि भन्नु त म्याम बुझ्दैन
Have you ever had your अब तिम्रो साइकल चोरी भयो सो ओके ल बनाऊ त क्वेशन somebody stole your
Have you ever-
cycle yes have you ever third structure
stolen your cycle
have you ever had your cycle stolen third structure practice gara practice the third
Yes,
structure okay I have repeated this again today so practice this much tomorrow I'll be giving you assignment as well so if you have anything you want me to repeat any exercise please let me know है कुनै exercise तिमीलाई म्यामले एकचोटि फेरि गर्दै हुन्थ्यो भन्ने लाग्छ भने and please tell me otherwise I will just continue with unit 2 okay and for unit 1 I'll be giving you assignments this week fine okay this is all for today okay okay have a great day bye